the church comes together
Amen.
and does
Amen.
this.
Amen.
Of course, we're reminded of that night that Jesus did it. And he had the elements were just bread and the drink that they had at the time. And he said, as often as you gather together, he said, you ought to be doing this. And the key was as often we get together as a remembrance of why we're gathered here today. Like it's actually it's actually kind of the closest that we become to being the original church is when that actually takes place. So we don't do this lightly, and even though we do it once a month, we still do it with the passion that we hope that they had the night that he did it with them. That we're here because of Jesus.
Amen.
Nobody walked through that door without him. You know, I mean, this is what he did. And so he reminded us with the bread that he took and he passed it around, and he said, I just want to remind you that this just isn't a spiritual thing that's going to be taking place on Friday. He said that my body was going to be broken, and it's going to be beaten and broken for you. So it just wasn't, you know, what he did in the spiritual realm for us, but he literally physically went to a cross that was for a slave, for a person that Rome didn't like. No Roman soldier or person was allowed on the cross. It was only for people that were their enemies. And so he became that for you. You know, he took that for you. So when the world said we don't understand that, it's a shame that they don't understand that what Jesus went through and endured for us on the cross that day. He said, by these stripes, he said, you are healed. And this is a physical healing as well as a spiritual healing. You are no longer the same person since you met Jesus.
Amen.
And he has set you free. So when you take this element today, it represents his body. Remember, it was physical, what he did. So let's do it together.
And about 4.5 years ago, I think a lot of you know where I came from. I got fired, and I lost my job. I was drinking every day. I wasn't going to church. I was in a really rough spot, and God gave me the strength to just overcome all of that. And I think He did that because He loves us, and He loves us so much that you know, He was willing to sacrifice His Son for that, for all of us. So as we drink this, just reflect on what He offered up and how much, you know, He loves us. So that's,
Amen.
Amen.